Hey, how you doing guys? ZDEyE here. So today I wanted to talk about regarding of the very recent information that has surfaced regarding that the Xbox Series X is capable of loading a Gears 5 game on the Series X 4 times faster than on the Xbox One. A lot of people praise this as such as like saying, oh my god, it's an incredible feat and it's incredible news. No, it's not. PlayStation 5 does it 15 times more than that. And that's a concerning fact, because what does this mean? That the Series X is not as fast as it could have been? It seems like that is the case. Because PlayStation 5, as of right now, everything goes towards that it is a much rather faster console compared to the Series X. But of course I cannot disqualify and say like, because Series X is more powerful console. Yes, it is, because the equipment and the stuff that it has inside. There are a few more CPUs, GPUs and stuff like that. They are stronger on that console, on the Series X, than the PlayStation 5. But the PlayStation 5, the SSD, so it's a custom SSD, is twice, maybe even 3 to 4 times more faster, and yes, in some ways even you could say more powerful SSD than on the Xbox Series X. If you make that kind of comparison, this means that the PlayStation 5 is a better console, maybe? That's a little bit, a marginal step towards maybe being a bias towards the PlayStation 5, being biased to it. But since that's the case, we already know since 2019 that the PlayStation 5 is capable of running 18 times faster, loading I should even say, 18 times faster on the PlayStation 5, the Spider-Man game that's been launched back then. Now, just as well, because this was also made a comparison from the PlayStation 4 Pro specifically, not the PlayStation 4, I could say that it might be in perhaps somewhere 14 to 13 times faster from that console, because obviously PlayStation 4 Pro is more powerful than a PlayStation 4, and yet, even though it seems like that the PlayStation 5 is still going to be a much quicker and faster console compared to the Series X. And that's a kind of a concern. So what does this mean? Is this going to be kind of every single game out there that has released? Because obviously Gears is an exclusive towards Microsoft. Obviously you can play Gears on your PC as well. So what's the point of getting an Xbox in this case? A lot of people might argue to say as well. And yes, that's a good argument sake to be honest. But yeah, I just don't see there's so much to praise about. Like comparison with what we already knew with the PlayStation 5 and how much faster that is, PlayStation 5 wins with the speed-wise, that's for sure. Now, of course, again, like I mentioned, since the PlayStation 5 SSD is so much faster than the Series X's SSD, a whole thing just doesn't seem like it's going to be much of a leap for the Series X, because Series X has, yes, it's more powerful console. Yes, I'm not denying that. But the PlayStation 5 is a far faster console. Not more, but far faster console. Because thanks to the SSD. Now anyway, of course, that's just more... that a lot of people may not agree with me what I'm trying to say here, what I'm talking about as well. A lot of people, are I just don't want to hear it. I understand some cases as well. And of course, everything that really does matter is on the games. For example, what this would look like on a higher end games that specifically were made on purpose for the Series X and the PlayStation 5. How much faster would they be able to load? Because they're going to be a lot more taxing, a lot more stuff that has been done for them to be loaded up. And obviously this will take longer to load too. Since we are making these comparisons from the older games that came out on the less superior, I should even say, consoles that needed to be done as well. So what does this mean? Like, how much quicker would that really be? Will we have to wait again the similar amount of time for us to load the game? Don't get me wrong, these games are fantastic in their own ways, but they were not designed to be made for the next-gen consoles. And so obviously the next-gen consoles are going to be capable of running these games so much better than ever before. And I want to see new games that specifically were made on those consoles, the newest consoles, and how fast would that really mean for it to be able to load up as quickly as possible? That's what really matters. But to be honest with you, the biggest thing of all, what really actually matters is the games and how good they are. And by comparison's sake, I don't even think there's much of a comparison to do, to be honest with you. PlayStation 5 wins overall. Every single game out there, even exclusives wise, PlayStation 5 wins them all, and that's for sure. Even Xbox, well, they had a few good games, I'm not going to deny that. Gears 5, again, like it's been mentioned. If we do take a look at the Metacritic, it's like what, 83, 84, 82, somewhere that range. Spider-Man, if we make that kind of comparison again, it's like 87 or something in Metacritic. Again, yes, it's not exactly wise choice to do of taking the overall score from all the other reviewers, but still, yet I'm taking the review scores from Metacritic, so I'm making comparison from that sake. So still kind of we have to justify that the numbers are there. We have to understand that PlayStation exclusive games are taken far more into the consideration of being far better games. I'm talking about Death Stranding, I'm talking about Days Gone, I'm talking about God of War, The Last of Us as well, Uncharted games. These are all games that just popped into my head. I've recently played, and a couple of them I played quite a long time ago too, and yet they are far more superior games than any games out there that ever came out on the Xbox as well, because people already said this to me, like, what do they have? Forza, Halo, and Gears. That's all they have. That's all they keep replenishing, keep redoing it. And they had so much time to be making fantastic games, and they definitely did. But only now they started buying into these studios. What were they doing for the past 6-7 years prior to that? Now people, gamers, Xbox fans, have to wait even longer until these good exclusive games do come out, and the games that do finally come out, they're just not that great. Perhaps some cases are mediocre as well. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not necessarily to say that, like for example, Sacrifice, Senua's Sacrifice, or I should say even Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2, that may actually end up a fantastic game as well, because it is now exclusive to the Xbox and of course PC too. So again, what is the point of getting an Xbox if you can play this on your PC as well, you know what I mean? But yet, it's not to say, like, for example, because a lot of people, maybe I should say this. Basically, a lot of people have already seen the trailer, right, for the Hellblade 2, and a lot of people think that's exactly how the quality is going to be like. You're a fucking retard if you think that's exactly how the quality is going to be like. You're a goddamn idiot. I'm gonna say it up front and say this. It's not an opinion, that's a fact. There's no games out there that look this great. No games. Even if you have more powerful console, even if the Xbox Series X was twice more powerful than it will be, and I'm talking about PlayStation 5 as well, of course, I'm saying the same thing. If the PlayStation 5 was twice more powerful than it is now, the PlayStation 5 I'm talking about, twice more, maybe 4 times more, it would still not look like this. That's for sure, because that's a cinematic trailer that's just made to be shown. Made sure that to kind of fake the things that you believe will actually look like. When the game actually shows you the gameplay and you actually experiencing it for yourself, now that is how it will actually end up looking like. The best as it can be and the best as it will look like is probably somewhere in terms of like Spider-Man, God of War, Gears 5, with the quality wise of those games as well. They will look similar to that degree, but yes, don't get me wrong, they will be improved upon, but they were not going to be substantial improvements, not to the real life elements. That's important to understand. A lot of people don't want to understand this. Whatever, it's up to them. They want to be blind about it. Don't be open-minded about it then, because you have to understand a lot of things that I showcased very early on. They're not the gameplay. They're not a part of the gameplay. A lot of people say, well, what this is said in right beginning of the trailer is in-engine graphics. What does this mean? Do you understand what in-engine means? It's not exactly what you're going to be playing. An engine is just what this console is capable of pulling through. But that's exactly what you're seeing that is capable of pulling through. You playing, now that's going to be drastically reduced with the quality and the performance as well. That's just a fact. It's just how it works. It's supposed to do this marketing-wise as a genius, and people that think that this how it actually will end up looking like, they're gonna be for a big disappointment if they think it's exactly how it'll end up looking like. They're gonna be very disappointed. Okay, maybe I'm pretty sure I already pissed off a lot of people. I'm gonna wrap it up in this point, and I just spoke the truth. I just spoke the facts and the numbers as well. It's right there. It's like, I don't understand why so many people have such a high expectations for these next-gen consoles. Don't get me wrong, I'm getting day one playing my PlayStation 5. I'm extremely excited for it. I'm not saying I'm just a negative person. I don't care about the next-gen consoles. No, I'm not. I do care about the consoles, I should say. I don't know what I was mentioning at the beginning. But PlayStation 5, I'm gonna get that on day one. Xbox Series X, I don't think so. Like I said, there's no reason for me to get it since I can play all their games on my PC. Better console, like pretty much more relevant console. You know what I mean, like, because all their games now on PC, what's the point in getting the Xbox? Maybe sure for friendliness, you know, consumer friendliness. It kind of it's a little more convenient perhaps for a lot of people. But if you really want to say this stuff to me, few games you can sacrifice upon being a little bit more convenient for you, but instead you should get a PlayStation 5 because those games are on the PlayStation 5 only. And again, if it is going to be a little bit difficult for you to say like play like Halo Infinite because you want to play this as quickly as possible, well, just wait a little bit longer and just play it on your PC. Perhaps a lot of people will argue to say, well, my PC isn't as strong, isn't as powerful. Well, still, you're gonna be playing better games on the PlayStation 5. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up now. I feel like I'm triggering a lot of people. Oh my god. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Have an awesome day and have a good one.